Scream is the best horror franchise of all time. I know it's probably controversial to some of you, but I have a reason. That reason is every single movie is good, and at worst, they're just okay, but all of them are still funny. So, I'm going to be reviewing all 6 movies over the next 2 videos and splitting 3 movies per video. These reviews won't be too long, just some of my basic thoughts and support for the argument. Before I start though, I want to thank you guys so much for the views, the subscribers, and the explosive response from my Dungeons & Dragons video. It really means a lot, y'all. My channel has been in the dumps during my gaming era, and even worse, in my skits era, but having this many people care about my opinion when it comes to movies is really heartwarming. Hold up, I'm getting a call. Hello? Favorite scary movie? Oh, probably Scream. Anyways, who is this? Let me put this on speaker.
You know exactly who I am.
Look, I'm recording a video right now. I'll get to you later.
Don't you hang up on me, or I'll gut you like a fish.
Yo, what? Do you hear yourself? How about you fish for a paycheck? Get a job, bozo. Yeesh. Anyways, I would also like to point out that I put a poll on my Instagram asking if you'd rather see the Pirates franchise or the Scream franchise reviews. And since Scream won, I'm doing that now. I will eventually review the Pirates movies, but not right now. There are so many movies coming out this summer that I want to review, like Spider-Verse, Asteroid City, Barbie, and even stuff later this year like FNAF and Dune Part 2. 2023 is a great year for movies. I also want to let you know that I'll be ranking these movies once they're all reviewed. I'll rank just the movies in general and their killer reveals. So without further ado, let's talk about Scream 1996.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
Scream is perfect. Not even as a horror movie, but as a movie in general. It's a good example of a product of its time. This movie is perfect satire. Like, it's not a parody of horror movies, but it's got enough criticism to make you look back at the state of horror at the time. In the 80s, there were sequels and sequels of horror movies like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and other flicks like it. On top of that, there were cheap horror flicks being made simply for the purpose of grabbing $1 from young couples. Everything was predictable to the point where you could point out tropes in horror movies, like the black person dying first, the last girl, and also the villain being immortal. I'm going to rephrase my Letterboxd review for this movie because it was my first taste of the Scream franchise, and you can see my amazement and how great these films are. And by the way, check out my Letterboxd. All my reviews are there before they're on YouTube, usually. So, here we go. This movie has some great scares, which made me guess a killer right from the beginning, but constantly second-guess myself. Excellent craft work and mystery. The acting from the opening scene is hooking enough to make me not want to take my eyes off, and you get a sense of how classic horror tropes are used in the film based on that first phone call. Also, I literally think the opening scene could be a short film in and of itself. It's just that good. In one scene, a girl says, "Horror movies are dumb because the girl goes up the stairs instead of the front door." And then we watch as the girl goes up the stairs instead of the front door. Incredible. It is a really clever satirization of horror movies. There's this moment where this guy's watching a horror movie and yelling at his screen for Jamie Lee Curtis to turn around. This is used as irony since there's actually a killer right behind him. The movie has great humor and irony in general, and the killer is interesting because he's a normal dude that can get hurt, but he's still a huge threat. I'll have you guys know that I know all these characters' names by now, and that these words were written in October of 2022. But yeah, everything about this movie is perfect. Also, they filmed this at my mom's college, which was pretty cool. Overall, if you want a good way to get into horror or just a good film to watch this one. 10 out of 10. Also, I'm gonna do a killer review score, so this one gets a 10 by default. Every movie has a little... Another call?
Surprise, Jacob.
Oh, not you again. Wait, are you Ghostface? Why do you sound like that?
Budget cuts.
How about you cut it out with calling me? Jeez. Now let's watch Scream 2.
She is very gorgeous to me.
Okay, aside from this very clever running gag in the movie, wouldn't it suck to be in this theater? Like, these people are so loud. It's almost like Endgame, but a lot worse. And I get that someone has to die in the opening scene of these movies, but my goodness, I never felt bad for them. Actually, I take it back. I felt horrible for Drew Barrymore and Jenna Ortega. Not that she dies. But still, This woman did not deserve all that. The man, though, yeah. Now about the movie. It's just as charming as the first one, and to be honest, it isn't that bad. It's kind of weird seeing Gale and Dewey not like each other, but I guess they needed a reason for them to be in the movie. Still, there's good suspense, and the killer works here too. You start to realize that there could be 100 of these movies and no one would get tired, assuming they were all like this. There are things that I notice in this movie that I will get into later, mostly revolving around their metaphorical aspect in the world of entertainment. Essentially, why the killers are who they are and why they want revenge thematically. Overall, this is a good sequel that lives up to the first and sets this franchise apart from the other horror franchises. It has consistency in quality and engagement. Well, so far. An 8 out of 10. For the killer reveal, I'd give it a 7 because it was obvious, but I'm keeping it as a 7 because the scene itself was pretty good when they had the twist. And it's kind of similar to the first movie where the two killers don't make that great of a team. Oh, is that a spoiler? Anyway, they did do something creative at first with revealing the two killers in this movie. I might bump it up to a 7.5 because it was like a last second psych out. Okay, second to last. You'll know what I mean. Now let's get into the flick I really want to talk about. Oh, getting a call.
You haven't seen the last of me, you. I'll be there. And maybe you'll be ready.
What? Was that Ghostface again? Oh, jeez. I might have to block that caller. But he's the only person to really talk to me during the break, so... Anyways, let's talk about Scream 3.
Someone's trying to ruin my movie. Someone wants to kill my movie.
All right, we'll talk about your movie down at the station. Okay? All right, this is the scene where you come with us.
Scream 3 is interesting. It made me compare these three Scream movies to the Star Wars trilogy. Essentially, this movie is like Return of the Jedi. It's boring and not as good as its predecessor. Not that this movie is overall boring, but the movies before it definitely caught my attention more. There are still hilarious moments in this film, like the Carrie Fisher cameo. That actually killed me. It was hilarious.
I was up for Princess Leia.
I was this close. So who gets it?
The one who sleeps with George Lucas.
And Scott Foley is really funny. I just like when people get angry sometimes. The kills in this movie are creative, but they're also the most yell at your screen bait ever. You'll know when you see them. Like, I felt bad for the stab actors, but man, some of them are genuinely stupid. Still, when the killer is active, the suspense is grand. But this movie definitely reveals the cracks in this series. For starters, having a new killer in every movie allows for a whodunit reveal. But it also means that these movies follow a formula. They can try to get as wacky as possible, but in the end, we know the killer will corner Sydney, hurt her, explain their plan, and then she ends up killing them. It doesn't take away from the movie, but it definitely is noticeable. However, the movies in the later generation take advantage of this, especially Scream 6. But I think I know why we're all here. The obligatory theater reference. Come on, you guys, come on. I did this in my Wednesday Kill a Kill video, and those did good, so I'm gonna do it here. Actually, the Wednesday video did not do good. I'm gonna keep talking about it, y'all. Okay, but 1K views on Kill a Kill. No, 1.9K views on Kill a Kill. And then 2K on D&D. What? Sorry, I'm like geeking out. Y'all are so cool. Anyway, I noticed these movies are a critique of the film and entertainment industry. And I know it's more towards Hollywood, but I'm in theater town, so that's just bear with me. The first movie represents the show. It's something that everybody sees. It's literally the show. Like, the Scream is the movie that creates Stab, that creates all the events in the later franchise. You get it, right? It's pretty straightforward. That's not really that figurative at all. But the second movie, I think, is about the actor. It's the revenge of the actor. Also, the scene where the killer reveals himself, it takes place in a theater. And does that help my case? Maybe. Maybe not. And the third one, I think, is about the director. Now, is that because the killer has something to do with a director? Maybe. I didn't spoil anything. Anyways, the movie is a good ending to the trilogy. Well, until this franchise was no longer a trilogy. But this movie, I'm gonna give it a solid 6, 7. I guess 6.5 out of 10. The killer reveal, I'm gonna give it a 6. mostly because it's kind of out of nowhere in his relation to Sydney, like very out of nowhere. But I like how he did it solo. He's the only guy to do it by himself. So now that that's out of the way, I guess it's time to rate the opening scenes. Well, Scream 3 had the worst out of the bunch, simply because it killed off a character who just cleared his name, but I guess the actor wanted to work with Wes Anderson instead of doing these films. Drew Barrymore is irreplaceable though, but Heather Graham is so pretty. Who's there?
I told you to be ready.
Wait, give me a sec.
No time like the present, Jacob. Now, if you answer 3 Scream trivia correctly, I'll leave. But if you fail to get 1 correct, you die.
Okay, just give me a sec to think.
When was the second Scream movie released?
December 12th, 1997.
Good. See, that wasn't so hard. Next, which college were the first 2 movies filmed at?
Oh, Agnes Scott. Duh. Is this trivia or obvious? Just give me the last one.
Why are you in a rush? I thought you wanted a sec to think. Well, this should be easy enough for you then. Tell me exactly how many times were you horny posting for Jenna Ortega?
What?
Is that your final answer?
No, I'm asking for clarification. Is this simply for Scream or just in general?
What's the name of the game?
Alright, fine. Man, that's a good one. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Okay, just let me count in my head.
10 seconds.
Oh, don't say 10 seconds. Now I'm gonna be thinking about
6,
10 seconds. No,
5,
no. Hey,
4.
wait. Guys, comment below an answer. Please, save me so I can make a part 2 and review the last 3 movies.
Who gives a about movies?
Damn, baby, come jump off the roof with me, live up your youth with me before they shooting me. With all they cameras and bullets, I swear I'm the man up in front with the hooligans. Yeah, I'm up with stand up, you do not answer me. I'm in the